At hindi ko alam kung ano ang isusunod, hindi ko alam kung anong sasabihin. Dahil ang mundo ko po ngayon ay nagbabago. I'm 66 years old and I'm constantly in transition. And the reason why I continue to be in transition because God continues to make me change every day. It's a never-ending process. Kaya kanina sinabi nga ni Randy na ako'y disruptor, disturber, kasi po kung dinidisrupt ng Diyos, na kung kailan komportable ka na, ay kailangan magbago ka na naman ng landas. Now, he talks about being focused. I guess my focus is on God's purpose for my life. And that means that I can never be comfortable in the place where I want to be. It has always to be where God wants me to be. And so I was never raised to be a farmer, but sabi ng Diyos sa akin ay kailangan na araw-araw magising ako ng alas 5 ng umaga at kasama ko ang mga magsasaka to turn this country blessed with by God with riches, natural resources, but somehow we have not honored God and we have turned this country into a wasteland. And so I realized that I am not too old to change my path, to change my direction, but consistent with the message that I heard from Randy is just to remain focused on what God wants you to do because He will never mislead you. And so, ang mundo ko po ay malayo na sa aking pinanggalingan, pero parang doon din ako binabalik ng Diyos because I started life without the privileges that most of the people in Makati who work for the big corporations here have. No, so very simple life as a person who never owned his home, never owned land, never owned a car. I went to public elementary school, public high school, in a very rich province. I come from Negros Occidental, no? And so growing up, I realized that I did not want to be defined by the circumstances of my birth, and I felt that perhaps God did not want, that the poverty and the limitations that I had in life was just a stepping stone for me to be a bigger person. And so from the very beginning, I knew that there was somebody who was orchestrating my life. And I went through different stages. I grew up in a family where both my parents were public school teachers. They lived simply, honestly, and that's precisely the reason why we could not aspire for all the comforts and all the pleasures that other people had. No, and I was also born with two siblings who are retarded. One was severely retarded, and eventually 3 of my siblings died prematurely from cancer. So it has always not been easy, but I knew, that's why I realized that there was a God up there, and I would always climb roofs and climb trees to escape the difficulties on the ground, and always to connect with the heaven that perhaps was waiting for me somewhere. But again, at the age of 12, I fell down from a mango tree and lost the sight of my left eye. And so, may hirap ng buhay, may hirap ka na nga. Tapos bulag ka pa, tapos hindi lang bulag, kundi duling pa. At ang masakit kasi pag ikaw ay mahirap, kapag ikaw mayaman, ikaw ay banlag, pero pag ikaw mahirap, duling ka talaga. No. So, I realized that heaven would open if I also just continue to overcome whatever unfortunate situations I found myself in. And education was my way out of poverty. And somehow, just a long journey from Negros to getting a scholarship to the United States, and at least simultaneously getting also, I was not only poor without any pedigree, I also had a very thick Ilonggo accent. And paano ako makapasok sa kamamundo ng mga ponyo kung I didn't have the Arneo accent, no? And so, duling ka na, tapos kapal ko ng. But I also trained my left eye to move with the right eye. So it's every day for 3 years, and I was determined that I would not be defined by my physical defect. And somehow, nang pumunta ako sa Amerika and I started to speak with the California twang, it did not really intimidate me. At pag pumunta ka sa Amerika, kumain ka na ng masarap at dinisiplina mo sarili mo, nawala na rin yung pagka-duling ko. Banlag na lang. So you can keep on redefining yourself and never allowing all your inadequacies, all your insecurities to define you. But I came to realize that God was not unfair to me, because He opened so many doors. Every setback I had, as long as I had faith that that there will always be a silver lining up there. That after every storm, there will always be the sunshine would shine again. So, but the problem is that when all the blessings come to you, that's when you start to have a problem, and then your weakness comes out, vanity, ego, pride, and so on. And so oftentimes the blessings become also your curse. And that's what happened, because after getting a degree from a top university, I worked for a big multinational company, owned my condo and owned my car, and started to really live a life for pleasure, not for purpose. And it was, I guess, normal, as it is for many of you, that you get a good education so that you can also have the best that life can offer. But then, at the end of the day, I realized that even if I get my desire, I was really holding an empty bag. And so I decided to get married. Maybe it was another transition in my life. At the age of 28, I decided to marry the simplest, the most honest person I knew. And she was the original member of Ligaya ng Panginoon, and part of a prayer meeting. And she was being dissuaded from going out with me. Kasi mahirap yung konyo na makasama sa askal. During the time kasi may ganun ang mga kaisipan na I would take her out of the community where she was really a treasured member. But anyway, I felt that I made a choice of a lifetime partner out of because she had the values I was looking for. And I made her. Perhaps during the time in my life when I was just pursuing my desire and just living a life without meaning or purpose, I needed somebody who could provide me the anchor, who could provide me the compass. And she brought God into my life. And so I joined Ligaya ng Panginoon. That's where I met Mike Joseph, Bo Sanchez, yung mga bata ko sila naman. Kala ko mabola ko kasi ang Diyos eh. Dahil it was just to appease my wife, pero secretly I would still drink, I did not really embrace the life, because the world of business was different. You had to entertain all night, you had to be with people who were not really living out the values that I was starting to build at home, because I was starting to raise my kids. So that's when you start to live a double life. That's when you start to be really disturbed. Some people call it a midlife crisis. No, I don't know. Maybe it was just my way of God really disturbing me, because the biggest problem in this country is that we live in a culture of hypocrisy, and oftentimes we can show outward religiosity but not really be faithful to God. And so anyway, that's when God led me to be active in Couples for Christ and to start Couples for Christ in many of the provinces of the country, and then to start the family ministries, Youth for Christ, Singles for Christ, and so on. So from being mercenary, I became missionary. No, not yung mundo ng pera na nagpapalipin ng maraming tao ay binago sa akin ng Panginoon na kailangan makilala ko muna ang Diyos para magamit ko ng tama ang lahat ng mabiyayang binibigay niya sa akin. At para mabigyan ko rin na I can be a steward for my family, because I learned to really love my children, and it was my children who helped me to really change. Because I wanted my children to have a father that they could trust, they could respect, and that they could honor. And kaya natuwa ko dito na 7 years, no? Kasi ang buhay ko parating tumatakbo ng 7 years. No? And so even Gawat Kalinga has 777, and 7 years of social justice, 7 years of social artistry, and 7 years of social progress. No? Kaya 7 years of getting land for the landless, homes for the homeless, food for the hungry, and now we're in the second 7 years, the social artistry phase, which is now really building inclusive wealth. So we are now building the first farm village university in the world in Angat, Bulacan, and hoping to replicate this in Negros, in Iloilo, in Cebu, in Capiz, in 24 other sites throughout the country. And our target is to help end poverty for 5 million Filipinos by 2024. Now, and the way to do it is to raise social entrepreneurs from the next generation of Filipinos who will create inclusive wealth. So yung talino, galing natin in various professions at ginagamit natin para magpayaman ang ibang bansa, magagamit din natin para payamanin ang ating bansa. And the way to do it is to really lift the bottom of the pyramid. So ito pinakita sa akin ng Panginoon sa mahabang paglalakbay. At in 1996, malaking bagay ang ginawa niya sa akin. Sabi niya sa akin, kung gusto mo kong pagsilbihan, you just surrender. You surrender to my purpose. You surrender to the way that I want you to serve me. And I want you to serve your country. I want you to serve the poor. And so the first thing he asked me to surrender was my credit card, my checking account. And never carry money in my pocket. So it was total surrender to him, because he wanted me to be in a position of trust as a leader. No? And because I realized that if I was detached from money, then I will gain the trust and the respect of the wealthiest people. And he also told me to be detached from power. That the power can only come from God. It can never be a power that will come from me. No? And so when I was invited in the last I was invited to become a cabinet secretary, I asked the two ladies, the sisters of the president, who called me, and I said, sabi nila, kayo ho ang napipili to be the cabinet secretary. No? So sabi ko sa kanya, ano kung cabinet? Kitchen cabinet ba o medicine cabinet? No? So I really believe in our president, President Aquino. I feel also that he has given the Philippines an image of abroad of trustworthiness, and in his own way, he has tried to limit corruption in the country. Kaya nga po in 2010, nang pareho po when Reader's Digest came up with a list of the most trusted Filipinos, ako po ay nagulat kasi I was the most trusted Filipino at si President Aquino was second. No? At tinanong po ako at hindi ko alam kung bakit. Kasi sikat siya, may kapangyarihan siya. Ako naman I'm an ordinary citizen. And so when I was asked, why are you the most trusted Filipino? Ang sagot ko, maybe because I do not lie to my wife. No? And President Aquino has no wife to lie to. So, but that's why siguro hindi siya nagsisinungaling sa bansa. Pero I felt that if you can lie to your wife, then you can cheat in your business, you can cheat in your government service. No? That's why I realized that God continues to really discipline me, continues to mold me to really be true and to be really honest. Kaya nga yung detachment from money, from power, but the hardest thing is detachment from glory. Kasi like si Randy, sikat na yan, no? Kaya pag tumayo siya rito, mas gwapo ko siya kay Brad Pitt, no? So, I feel, I have gone through that as the leader of Singles for Christ, Youth for Christ, Focus for Christ, even Handmaids of the Lord. Now with international conferences, parati kang nagsasalita, paglabas mo, parang pupunasan yung mukha mo, tapos hindi na sila maliligo ng isang linggo. Kasi the tendency for people is that they really idolize those that they respect, or they feel somebody who represents God to them. No, it's not really about you. No, but then it can get into your head. It can get into your head. And ito po, especially the last 6 years, I've gone to really present the Philippines now as the rising star of Asia. So I travel throughout the world and really go for global branding, because I feel that the Philippines is the best gateway to Asia. And this is now the Asian century. And there are just vast opportunities for foreigners to come to the Philippines, and not just for Filipinos to leave our country and to seek jobs abroad. So anyway, ang nangyari po ngayon that we are able now to really represent to the world the Philippines as the new land of opportunity coming out from our global image of being the sick man of Asia. And the greatest wealth of this country is our people. You. Kayong kayamanan ng bansa natin. At kaya nakakatuwa, is very refreshing. I can see you people gathering together because there's so much positive energy. Because whenever you have peace, it's really abundance of love, it's abundance of caring, it's abundance of faith, abundance of hope, abundance of goodwill. That's why you need to come regularly. And that was the reason why we also had all the big events that we had in Focus for Christ. And that to me would have been just purely glorious. Pero sabi ng Panginoon sa akin na hindi sapat na nandiyan ka sa itaas at nagbibigay ka ng talk araw-araw, naglilid ka ng mga malalaking prayer assemblies, pero kailangan bumaba ka sa mga taong hindi makakapunta sa iyong mga prayer meeting. Puntahan mo ang mga the least and the lost in the most squalid places, starting with Bagong Silang, go to Smoky Mountain, go to Baseco, etc., etc. And siyempre, i-surrender mo naman yung comfort mo. I-surrender mo naman yung power mo. So I stepped out of all my leadership positions. In Focus for Christ, in Gawad Kalima, I stepped down from the board, I stepped down as the head of the organization, simply because God told me that you have to be with people who are weak and who are powerless. So yun, and by doing that, in 2010, we received one award after another. So the most trusted Filipino, the social entrepreneur of the world in the World Economic Forum, Ernst & Young, Small World Forum, and so on. Yun pala, talagang may Diyos sa mundo eh. no? Na the more na you detach yourself from money, power, and glory, the more that your work, the work is being honored. And so we gain credibility, we gain trust, and we gain more volunteers, and people now realize that if you can do it, then they can also do it. That they don't need government power, they don't need government funds to be able to do it. But you will always be tested, and to me, it's you can overcome, you can be detached from money and power, but glory is very difficult. I recall 2 years ago when I was invited to speak with Muhammad Yunus at the World Forum Bill, and nagsalita kami. Dapat 20 minutes, pinuha niya yung 10 minuto ko. 10 minuto na lang natira sa akin. Pero sa tingin ko, kung nagsasalita ka, kasi sinama ko yung salita ng Diyos doon sa event that I said that the work of Gawad Kalinga is the work of millions of people who have love, faith, and hope. No, and we are these are miracles of solidarity. No, people who love God. And so, after that, I got a long-standing ovation from over 1,000 people. Pero nagugulat ka. No, kasi siya sanay-nay, dahil Nobel Peace Prize winner. Ako, isang magsasaka sa Bulacan, tapos bibigyan ka ng ganong klaseng reception. Bigla akong umalis sa stage, tumakbo ako, at bumalik sa Amsterdam, naiwanan naman ako ng aking aeroplano. Pero gusto ko na lang po bumalik kasi I have to stay grounded. Because all the honor and glory belongs to God and to the millions of people who made it happen. No? And so, ito next week, darating dito yung Lee Figaro, nagpapadala ng team to do a 10-page spread on our work of social entrepreneurship. That this whole strategy of really raising the bottom of the pyramid for us to create a walang-iwanan economy that does not leave anyone behind to remain poor. So again, kasi 500 po na mga interns from 32 universities in Europe come to the Philippines to see that to learn how it is to build a kinder and a safer and a happier world. You know, when you get the rich and the poor to work together, when you get the locals and the foreigners, kasi pag ang mga Filipinos pumupunta sa ibang bansa, over 11 million of them, and when Filipinos marry a foreigner, that is to leave the country, they will leave the country. Now, with Gawad Kalinga, foreigners marry Filipinos so they can live in the Philippines. No? Because now we feel that this is the best time to be Filipino. And the best place in the world to be is in the Philippines. No? Because this is a country loved by God. And the time is now. So siguro I would like to just share with you this short video, if you would allow me. Kasi we're now, there will be great prosperity in the land in the next 20 years. There will be great prosperity. Because we Filipinos will no longer have a colonial mentality. The Filipinos now will learn to really honor, God, who gave them their intelligence, their creativity, their very caring nature, and the world will come to admire. Filipinos have always been at the service of humanity. The best Filipino doctors and nurses are in America. Have actually helped improve the health in America. They have also created wealth for their families, and now they are the best taxpayers in the United States. And even Filipinos who are sailing the seas in the maritime commerce would come to a standstill if they all came home. So we realized that this faith, that the past of from our colonization, and for us to really be at the service of humanity in different professions, in different areas of service. Even our call center, we're now the call center capital of the world. And so the remittances from our overseas workers and also from the income of our BPOs, they have actually kept the economy afloat. But now the next phase is for us now to honor the God who gave us this land of great abundance. So now the thrust is to really create wealth by turning our wasteland into abundance. by raising Filipinos who will no longer be job seekers, but also wealth creators and job givers. By raising Filipinos who will no longer just be consumers, but Filipinos will now become producers. So we will now produce world-class brands. Kaya po, yung mga anak ko po nag-umpisa ng Human Nature, it is personal care cosmetic product in our kitchen 7 years ago. Pero ngayon, they are now, Human Nature is the #1 natural cosmetic company in the Philippines. No? And at ito po ay tinatag so that we can pay farmers 30% higher than just wages, at than the regular prices. And tinatag po ito para po ang mga nagtatrabaho sa amin, makaramihan, mga beneficiaries ng Gawad Kalinga. So, people from Payatas, people from Siturbi, nagtatrabaho sila at ang minimum wage po sa Maynila is 470, we pay 750. Sa Bulacan, 350. Sa Calamba, where we have our factory, the minimum wage is 350, we pay 750 with the overtime. Umaabot po yung mga sweldo ng mga tao namin na 1,000 pesos a day kahit hindi sila high school graduate. And it is possible to build a business with efficiency, with loyalty, with motivated workers because we have a no firing policy. No? So we provide them not only just wages, but we provide them also lifetime security. So we are showing it can be done. And we have opened our branch now in the Abu Dhabi, in many parts of the world. So, hindi na yung tayo tagabili lang ng mga imported products. It's not just Paris or Korea that will be the cosmetic, personal care center of the world. It could be now the Philippines. Okay? So, I'd like to show you this video para pakita ko po sa inyo kung paano rin kayo magamit ng Diyos para payayamanin ang Pilipinas. Kaya tuwan-tuwa ko kasi si Brother Bo, he talks about also it is the destiny of Filipinos not to be poor, but to really create wealth so that no one will remain poor. No? So, I'd like to show this video before I conclude. Habang inaayos yan, magsasalita pa muna ako. Gusto ko lang po kasi kumilahin kayo na pumunta sa GK Enchanted Farm in Bulacan. Kasi po doon tinayo namin yung first farm village university in the world na kung saan binigyan namin ng pagkakataon for the children of the most marginalized families, anak po ng construction worker, anak mga tricycle drivers, mga magsasaka, to get quality education. So they learn how to speak English and French, no? Kasi ang pumupunta po sa amin ng mga mayayaman, mga putis aircon, no? So yung mga putis solar po ay nagpe-French, no? Because they have natural intelligence, but what they lack is confidence. And so we're providing them quality education to develop their competence. Now, kaya ng January po, ay sumali sila sa social business competition attended by the top universities in Manila. At these young men and women who just learned how to speak English last year, they won first place. No? And it just shows that the untapped, the undiscovered, unexplored, untapped, undeveloped wealth of this country are the poor. Na maraming matatalino doon, na hindi kailangan puro technical training na lang. Kaya nga po ang pangarap ko na in 10 years, sila na po, yung mga anak ng mga magsasaka at ng mga tricycle driver, sila na po may-ari ng negosyo.